Korea, what's going on? This is Byung Park, and I'm gonna start talking about the news I read today. Not all the news I read, but some of the news. The first news I read was about this dog facial recognition and register service. So that, they have already a GPS system on the necklace that the owners can track, and also it shows some phone number and those things so that people can find the owner. But they made it more easier application that they can just take a picture of the dog, and then you can easily find who's the owner, and you can find find that owner of the dog easier. This is a news because recently there has been issues with a dog biting and killing some people. So this dog is a golden retriever, which is one of the mildest and kindest dog, often used as those visually disabled person. But this dog bite off this woman who is in the late 50s, and although there's emergency agent came and tried to help, but she was already dead. So they wanted to know who's the owner, and they asked around, and but nobody really was found to be an owner. So to prevent this thing happening, that's why this must be on the news. I mean, there could be different reasons, but I think that's one of the reasons. So hopefully that people are more careful with their dogs, and if they lost the dog, they can find easier. And also, if this kind of tragedy happened, then at least we know who's more accountable with this situation or the case. Like most of the time when the dog misbehaves, it's mainly the owner's fault because they didn't train properly. They probably maybe misled or mistrained or misraised the dog. And the dogs are usually really loyal. As long as they get a proper treatment or proper environment that they can grow, and if there's some problem or misbehavior, those are usually fixable as long as the owners are more careful and know how to raise a dog. And if they don't know, they shouldn't raise a dog, because they're also the life. They are not supposed to be like just wandering around without any care and support, especially if they're born as a pet, not like born as a wild dog. So that was the first news, and the next one is the violence in this 119. In Korea it's 119. I know in some countries it's a different number, but emergency number in Korea is 119 for the medical or some different issues. But anyway, so this lady in the 40, she was laying down on the street, so somebody reported that something going wrong, and I think she needs a medical help. So they took her, and then this is her husband, and she started to kick him and really angry and furious. So this agent tried to block, and then because she felt bad that he was trying to block, so she started hit him with her shoe. And this is not just one-time thing. This has happened so much. So I saw that before, that a lot of those agents of this emergency, they are traumatized massively, and they constantly feel anxious before they go to help the people. This is a serious issue. They're already in a quite stressful situation because they sometimes need to sacrifice. They're also in an always urgent situation. They cannot even have a proper meal because if there's a case, they need to run out. But people treat them like this. This is just insane. Like at least appreciate and just let them do their work. I mean, this is not just a case. There is also the case that people even use this emergency, the vehicle as if they're a personal taxi or something. Like, they just say that they feel sick, and then, they are like, oh, I'm actually fine, I'll just go. And then they just walk away. And because they know that it's nearby hospital, there is some meeting or something, and they don't want to pay the tax. That kind of thing happened. So they actually made a law more strict now, so people can actually go to um, jail for like 5 years or something. But considering this case, this is slightly different. This is in the emergency room, and this person used violence against this nurse and the doctor. They like beat him up and stuff for no reason. And this person was sentenced 4 months prison, but suspended sentence for 1 year, which means if this person doesn't do much for 1 year, basically this 4 months is gone. So they don't go, which is happening all the time. Korean, I don't know, for a reason, those judges are lovers of 집행유예. Like, you don't, your sentence is suspended for a couple of years. So if you don't make trouble, we'll kind of, just move on. So, yeah, this thing's happening. This ER is severely avoided by those doctors and the nurses because they know that this thing happening all the time, and the laws do not really protect them much. So, those people are there to save lives, and this is just severely stressful already. Like, of course, those culture and more education, I'm sure this wouldn't happen to most of people. Most of people wouldn't do that thing. But if people do it, and they should be heavily punished because this is really life and death matter condition. At least I think like that. So those are the news I picked today. I hope these news were helpful and interesting, and I'll see you next time.